Good afternoon and welcome to this video channel, Environmental Practice. And we are here going to be looking at wildlife ecology. This is a branch of science dealing with interrelationships of wildlife with their own species and other animals. So we talk about wildlife resources. It's like we're just talking about natural resources. And now, what is natural resources? Natural resources is a resource that humans, at a point in time, will want to use or conserve for future use. That part of the biosphere or nature that humans are able to utilize is what is called as the natural resources. So natural resources normally are classified, and this is how they are classified. They are classified as the non-renewable and the renewable. Now, non-renewable natural resources refer to those resources that cannot regenerate within a human lifetime, okay, that are non-renewable. And the renewables are those that can be regenerated, just opposite of what you've said, within human lifetime. All right. So what are the functions of natural resources? Natural resources have several functions. We'll mention three of them. One is the productive function, and the other is the cultural function, while also it can play a function of physical function. That is, the physical function relates to things like air maintenance by producers. Okay, so these are some or three functions of natural resources that we can talk about. Now, natural resources should be conserved or sustained in a way that we utilize these resources in a very wise way, because of how our population has been increasing. When population increases, there will be a problem protecting and utilizing resources, which will bring in two concepts of conservation and preservation of resources that are very critical. So that can be argued in this manner: rate of regeneration, okay, through sustainability, okay, should balance with rate of harvest. There should be an equilibrium on the center, and that is how we can do the conservation. So conservation will be possible sustainably when the rate of generation equals the rate of harvest. Conservation, if the rate of harvest, for example, is higher than the rate of regeneration, resources will be depleted. That's obvious. When we conserve wildlife resources, okay, when we are looking at the conservation, we ask three very important questions. One of which is, why do we conserve? How should we conserve? And what do we conserve? Why should we conserve? We conserve for ethical reasons. We conserve for economic reasons. We conserve for ecological reasons. We conserve for aesthetic value reasons. We conserve for scientific reasons. Species preservation, that is one reason why. And for cultural value, we can't forget the recreational reasons. Okay, so that is the why of conservation. What about the how? We conserve through habitat or ecosystem conservation of species. Then we can also conserve through protection. We can also conserve through reintroduction. We can conserve through bring in captivity or breeding captivity. We can conserve through capture and keep in the zoo. That is the how. Okay. Now, problems. What problems can come about in this area of conservation. One of the problems that we can have is the cost related to conservation. The other one is adaptation. When we are talking about bringing in recapture of wildlife, we are talking about making things like zoos and so forth. Normally there are problems of adaptation where animals from the wild will not be able to adapt to the new environment. There are also problems with regard to breeding. So breeding problems do occur because animals in captivity normally find it difficult to freely breed, okay? And in fact, even sometimes when they do breed, you have issues of inbreeding. Such issues also reduce on the diversity of the animals. So habitat or ecosystem conservation is a type that encompasses all the species, including their habitat. Problems of this type of conservation are two, namely intrinsic and extrinsic. So two problems. Intrinsic arise from within the ecosystem. I'll just summarize that one. We can read about them. Okay, they arise from within the ecosystem. Such problems as succession. Okay. The other issue would be species. Species that seem to provide better nutrition to others may be eliminated. Okay. Where animals' population is high, certain shrubs will be consumed and they will finish. Invasion of alien species is very common. Inbreeding comes in also as well. When we're talking about intrinsic. Extrinsic problems, we have issues like hunting, pollution, invasion, right? Then management. How do we manage this? We come up with biozones, yeah? Okay. We motivate the game management area members to empower by empowering them to be partakers or part and parcel of this conservation agenda. Then we learn from other countries how they are doing it. That is how we can manage the whole issue of conservation. Now, wildlife resources in Zambia. Yeah, Zambia is one of the leading countries actually in Africa in wildlife reserves. I think this is a very good thing which we might be losing if we're not very careful, because this gives about 22.4 hectares of land to wildlife, which is about 30% of the country's or the country natural reserves. This is split as follows: 21.3% are game management areas, 8.4% are national park, 0.3% are bird sanctuaries. So Zambia in this area is doing very, very fine. What are the problems that Zambian wildlife conservation is facing? 50% of our national parks in Zambia are degraded. Game management areas are equally very much degraded. Problems of infrastructure, exploitation, management problems, lack of serious funding, lack of technical staff. Those are some of the challenges that Zambia wildlife conservation might be facing as for now. Now, what are the causes of degradation? Well, we have talked about one of the problems to conservation is national park degradation. So the causes are human encroachment, of course, poaching, overpopulation, lack of effective management. Those are some of the causes of degradation. The benefits of wildlife resources are many. A third of our population here in the country, like in Zambia, depend solely on these natural resources. They depend on these for source of proteins, like in terms when we talk about animals. Okay, related to social and cultural heritage aspects, we talk about issues like Komboka ceremony. Some of the benefits are attributed to tourism, and also we have seen a lot of people coming in with the very fancy vehicles and boats, okay, going in the parks for what is known as safari hunting. Those are some of the benefits that we actually get for wildlife resources. Mitigation measures to wildlife problems. We build capacity so that this means where we train, we have more technical staff, we have legal staff, we have management staff, account staff, information technology should be improved. Then we build capacity in research so that more work should be targeted in research so that people can find better ways of managing these resources, building capacity in effective planning. And this is where we have a problem, planning. Public education, we should massively educate the public. Working as a group, taking a cross-sectoral group or approach, very, very important. Okay, this is about 10 minutes. Let me, more than 10 minutes actually, let me break and we'll continue later.